life was miserable. I looked like death warmed over. Everything that could go wrong went wrong.
It really is like one of those old movies where they're strapping the guy into the electric chair and they're looking at the telephone, waiting for the governor to call to give a reprieve, and the phone rings, and the guy's life is spared.
Cops estimate the damage.
As a reporter for the Tampa NBC affiliate WFLA, Lance Williams covered many criminal cases. But he never imagined he'd be on the death row known as leukemia, a sentence imposed after a simple blood test.
They said, if you had not gotten in here when you did, you'd be gone in a week or two. For the patient, you're in such a daze because, one day I felt like myself, and the next day I didn't.
After a whirlwind of treatment, including blood from donors, Lance eventually entered remission and returned to work, trying to adjust to a new normal.
One day she called and I just had a biopsy and it was back.
And it came back with a vengeance.
It was as if I climbed to the top of a tall building and jumped off and survived. And this summer I thought, now I have to climb back to the top of that tall building and jump off, but this time I'm not going to survive.
Lance needed a bone marrow transplant to survive, but couldn't find a matching donor.
We really had run out of potentials. They had about 50-something, and none of them was a good match. And then we get the news that the leukemia is back. So that's the real bottom of the story. Well, what's so great about that is the next day after they told us that it was back, and there was nothing we could do, the Food and Drug Administration had approved the use of Gleevec.
That drug was not approved for treating Lance's type of leukemia, but it was approved for treating the Philadelphia chromosome, the one thing that made Lance's cancer so deadly. Lance took 6 pills a day, and within 3 weeks, he was in remission. During that time, a young lady joined the National Bone Marrow Registry and turned out to be the perfect bone marrow match. And since he was in remission, Lance was able to undergo a bone marrow transplant.
Just God's providence in providing the Gleevec when he did, providing Aaron when he did, providing all of those blood donors throughout all of those many, many months. And I don't know how many dozens of gallons of blood there must have been involved. Just here in Tampa, I probably had 110 donors, and then in California, I probably had 3 times that many. So many, many, many gallons of blood from countless donors who really did save my life. So when people become blood donors, the joy is that you can save a life without having to lose your own.
Today, Lance is doing well, and his scans show that he's cancer-free. Lance left the news business for a career in real estate and is grateful for the donors who literally gave him the gift of life.
What do you say to a stranger who really has saved your life? And what do you say to many dozens, hundreds of strangers that have helped save your life? Obviously, you're grateful, but thank you just isn't enough. I'm just so grateful for that.
I'm Nancy Gay reporting.